Review It TV subscribers, watchers, and new visitors to the channel, I appreciate you guys tuning in to Review It TV. Been quite a while since we've done a video, not too long, on the machine, the beast, whatever you want to call her. We've been lagging and not giving her enough attention, and I don't like neglecting her, so we're going to go ahead and put a new outfit on her. We're going to start with some new accessories coming to the channel here. We're going to do one of the videos today, which is kind of cool, and then we'll have a couple more videos back to back. So we got some cool stuff lined up for the channel with this machine. If this is your type of video, then stay tuned on this. We're going to show you guys how to put a windshield, a full windshield in here with a windshield wiper today by SuperATV. We'll go over some of the tools and things that come with this windshield, and then we'll show you some of the preparations, and then finally we'll get it installed, and then we'll show you what it looks like. Alright guys, so you can see this is the box that came in, pretty big box, so it comes packed well, a lot of good foam to keep it from getting damaged during shipping. And then of course here's the windshield itself. It's bare right now because we haven't put any of the pieces on it that come with it. Comes with the vents that slide back and forth here. It'll come with a manual windshield wiper and weather stripping to go on the top, bottom, and both the sides to keep water from leaking in. So we'll go ahead and jump over to the table where we have the pieces and parts that come with this windshield and some of the tools. Okay guys, so you can see over here, this is what comes in the box besides the tools that we're going to be using for the installation. It comes with 4 of the clips here that are going to attach to the roll bar and into the windshield. So these are the clips you're going to be using, and they're kind of cool the way they have them set up. And then they've got some really good rubber grips, not those cheap little foam ones that you try to put on that are like tape. So these guys are set up really nicely. You got the 4 handles that are going to actually hold the vents in place, which are these guys right here, so you can slide them back and forth on that pivot hole. To close and open, getting airflow into your machine depending on if it's summer or winter. If you have these guys on in the summer, it kind of tends to heat up in your machine a little more, so you'll probably utilize those vents more. Weather stripping is right here, for, top and bottom, and then side pieces to be able to keep that insulated and sealed up from water leakage. Windshield wiper, manual windshield wiper with the handle, has the handle, the arm, and of course the windshield wiper, so that'll be put together and installed. And then last but not least, the tools. Simple array of tools here. We got 2 17mm wrenches, but of course I couldn't find one of my 17, so I just grabbed a 17mm socket, threw it on the wrench, because you're basically going to be doing this number tightening stuff. 1 10mm pair of wire cutters and a Phillips screwdriver. So simple tools. This is a real simple install, guys. It's nothing too crazy, especially if you have 2 people and an extra hand to help you. So we'll go ahead and look at the machine and some possible obstacles and where it's going to sit, and then we'll get this bad boy installed. Okay guys, so here's the front of my machine, and of course I have a few things in the way here, so I'll have to readjust to get this guy to sit in right. I have the light bar with the cable running down into my frame of my roll bar here, which is how I installed my light bar. Comes down and wires into the machine. But when you slide the windshield up, and that metal plate that's on the top is going to hit this guy, so I'm going to have to pull it up. There's a little connector right here. I'll pull it out a little bit, disconnect it, rerun it, connect it, and put it back down in here, giving that plate room to slide up in here so it doesn't cut or damage your cord. If you come on this side, this is the Soft by Mini roof by Can-am. Has the hard plastic front part of it, and then it has the soft portion on the back. Comes with 2 clips. Basically you're going to unscrew these like little clips, one on that side as well. Just slide this to the back a little bit out of your way. Once I reroute this wire, then we should be able to just lay the windshield in place smoothly and then start wrapping those clips around after we get everything installed on the windshield. So we'll get that done first, getting this rerouted, which you guys probably don't want to see because most of you probably won't have an issue like this, and then we'll go ahead and jump back into that windshield. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and get the weather stripping onto this windshield so we can get the windshield put in place. As you can see on here, there's 2 different seams. You got a little seam here and then a big fat seam up here. It's kind of like a groove in here which will stick onto the edge here. So you want to make sure that this little groove and this fatter part is sticking straight up like this. So we'll just go ahead and work it onto here, and you gotta just kind of push it on tight. It takes a little bit of muscle there. So you don't want this to come off once you get it started. And if it does have a hard time getting it on, then just go back and work it a little bit. I said it's not gonna just slide on right away. You're gonna have to push it up and fit it right. So we'll go ahead and get this side on. Once we get this side on, then we'll jump on to the other side. Alright guys, so I went ahead and started the molding, or whatever you want to call it, the insulation or the rubber seal that they give you to put on the top and bottom. I would recommend you put it on first at one end, starting at the corner. You don't want to go over this side because that's where the other insulation is going to go. Push it all the way on and wrap it to one side to where you have your extra. Do the same thing on the bottom too, and then you'll have your extra. If you come over here and look, they give you a tool list, and these wire cutters are on there because you're going to cut it. You want it to go right to the crease there, kind of more or less. So what you'll do is you'll just come up here, and I would just take your time, kind of eyeball it, probably right about there. And the good thing is if it's too long still, you can just trim it back a little bit more. Just give it a decent little cut. Then you're going to fold that in all the way, just like that. And see how it sits there? And you still have this other groove, so when you run your second strip up to there, it's going to touch. Same thing with this side. You want to be really specific. You don't want to cut it too short and it doesn't get to the corner right here where this notch is, because if so, it's going to leave a little gap there, and that's what's going to leak water. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to start it right away before I lose my spot. I'll come up top like so. I'll push that in there like that. And that one's good too. That'll come right up to there with the two sides and pieces of insulation, and that'll be finished, and then we can start installing it. Okay, so we got the top and bottom on like we had mentioned previously. We're gonna go ahead and take this other strip, just take these out and unroll them, kind of let them straighten out. They're just gonna sit on this lip right here of the metal edging that goes around your windshield. I would just take it up, and you want it to kind of sit flush on here. So you're gonna put it right up there flush on the edge, not sticking over, not too far under, but right on the edge, and then right up like that. Then you'll just run it all the way down, and I would just cut the piece real quick, and then you can get ready to take the adhesive and stick it on, and then we'll do that for the other side. So I have this right here. What I'll probably do first is just go ahead and get it started. So you got to peel this off, and this can be a little bit tricky. All right, so I got that finally pulled off here. I'm just going to try to firm it up nicely to where it's going to be right on the edge there, like so. Then what you do is just kind of fold it back like this, and then little by little, you want to just kind of run your thumb on there like that. Look at that, how it is, and then just kind of, I would take your time, guys. I wouldn't, because once you put this on, it's on. You don't want it to be all ugly. And see how I'm pulling it with these two fingers like this? At the same time, I'm edging it with my thumb, and then using this top finger all at the same time to try to straighten it. And if you don't do it like this and you do it too fast, you'll have this thing going like this, and then it'll be crinkled and wrinkled and causing little bubbles here, so it doesn't sit flush against your roll bar, and then that's where you're going to have issues with the rain, and you don't want to do that. Once we get down to the edge here, I'll cut it. See, and I'm just barely doing it, but look at that, perfection on the edge there, just smooth. It's almost like factory install. And then before you get it too far, I would just push it down like that, and get your wire cutters here, and just figure out more or less where you're going to want it. I think I'm going to do it right about here. Like that. See that little extra piece? Now look, it's not going to stick. I can drop it. Then I can just fold this back like this, and then simply pull that up and put that down like so. Just run my finger smooth. Don't crunch it down, and just barely go across like that. Look at that, guys. So first one's done. That's what you're going to do to the other side. Then we'll go back here, and then we'll get the vents on, the windshield wiper on. Okay, guys, so there's two of these handles for each one of these vents here. I got two over here. The vent handle is going to go towards the center of the windshield. This little lip is going to stick out, not towards this, because obviously it's not going to sit down smooth. But you're going to just stick that right there over the hole, that one over. Now look. See how it cuts and closes the vent? Same with this one, just set it right on there. And then basically shut them. Lightly put these little handles on like so. You don't want to torque them down too hard yet until you decide. I'm going to probably keep mine open all the time, because during the summer with the windshield, if you don't have like another way of cooling yourself, you're probably going to have some nasty air problems. We'll just go ahead and tighten those. See, and that holds them shut or open. Put this one on. Make sure you don't cross thread, guys. Take your time when you're screwing these on for the first time. If they start to bind up, then just back off and then do it again. Don't force it on there, because if you cross thread these, you're gonna have to rethread them, and if you don't have the right tool, that's gonna be a pain in the butt to have to try to do that. So there we go, simple as that. When you're done, you can just loosen them, shut it, tighten it, and it holds it shut. Same difference. So easy enough. Now we'll go ahead and get ready to do the windshield wiper. Okay guys, I know I said the windshield wiper, but we're gonna actually swap it out and do the clamps first, and then we'll hit the windshield wiper. So you wanna prep these. You can actually just put them around your bar and then try to put your windshield up to them and line them up, but it's a little bit harder that way. What I would do is I would take the nut off and pull the bolt off of this first. Set that to the side, and you're just gonna leave this. Stretch this out. Remember, the flat part is gonna sit here like this, and this curved part, so you can stretch these out. It's not gonna hurt them. Kind of get them like this, so that way they can sit up like that. So what you do is you take this little grommet, and there's a little center metal like bearing in there. You're gonna push this guy out the best you can. It may take a second. They're a little bit tricky, but you want to be careful not to fling it onto your windshield. Shouldn't crack, but that's what I'm talking about. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick this little grommet into this hole here. You just gotta kind of push it in until it pops in place like so, just like that. Then you're gonna take your little barrel like bushing and stick it back down in there just like that. Keep your finger on the bottom so you can flush it, just like that. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna stick this through the bottom like this, up through there, and then just go ahead and stick this on temporarily so it doesn't fall off in the meantime. Then what'll happen is we'll put it up against the windshield and wrap this around the bar all the way back around. Take that little nut off and then put the clamp together and then put the nut back on, tighten it down. So get your windshield prepared and get them all set up like this first before you actually install the windshield. After we get this last 3 of them installed, we'll go ahead and jump back on that windshield wiper. Okay guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get the windshield wiper installed. So you're gonna have the handle that has all the nuts, bolts, and hardware already on it. What you're gonna do is just simply take this small one off, set it down right there off to the side, and then you're gonna pull this shaft out of the center, just set that down. You're gonna have a nut, a hard washer, 2 rubber washers, another hard washer, and another nut. Just take one side off. Take the nut off, like so. And if it's not already in that order when you get it, put it in this order and get it ready, and then that's the way it'll install when you go to put it on. Because sometimes you may have both of these metal washers together on one side when you first get this. So you're gonna take off the rubber. I actually got a metal nut, a metal washer, and then a rubber seal, a ring. So there you go. There's one on there already, nut, metal washer, and then a rubber washer. You're gonna stick that up under like that. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your rubber, stick it down first. You don't want the metal to be up against the metal, so the rubber will go in first. Then you'll stick another piece on there, which is the metal washer, and then you're gonna take your other nut and screw that on. Be careful once again when you're threading this on, not to cross thread it. You're gonna hand tighten it on both sides, the bottom and the top, just a little bit. Then what you're gonna do is that's when the 17mm wrenches come in. Like I said, if you don't have 217, get you a socket. And I would just hold this guy right here like so, get it on there, and then you can come down here. You won't be able to see it, but there we go. And just tighten it. Don't go crazy with it, guys, because if you do, you might tear the metal or crush the metal here. But you do want it on a little bit firm, so just kind of get it on there the best you can. Take your time, like so. See, and I'm just tightening it. There we go. That should be good. It's on there tight, not too crazy. Then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and stick this back through like so. So that's just gonna sit there like that. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take the arm of your windshield wiper, and this is really full of tension because of the spring. So you want this to be downwards like so, and actually like that. You want to fold that up, and then the nut is going to go over the edge of that. So if you look down here, which is going to be kind of hard. Okay guys, so you can see right here that that's going to sit down like this. You're going to put that over the edge like so, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put this nut on the edge just like that until it tightens, just like that. Then that's where you use your little 10mm. You can snug it a little bit. I wouldn't snug it too tight at first, but just snug it up just like that. Don't go crazy with it. Okay, so then what we're gonna do is you're gonna take this and you're gonna put this little round clamp over the round part of this plastic piece. So it'll sit there like that until you hear it lock, just like that. So you'll actually see it better once we put it up onto the machine so you can see how it sits. We're gonna go ahead and get this put up onto the machine now, and then we'll finish installing the straps, and that's pretty much gonna be it. We'll show you what we ended up having to do with the light bar and the time being to make this fit, and then we'll call it a video. Okay guys, so we're gonna just carry this windshield over, me and my buddy here. This is Richard, by the way. You guys have probably seen him in one of the other videos, so I'll go ahead and just be careful. Now we'll just go ahead and switch on. There you go. We'll just go ahead and you're gonna have to try and get your straps out over the edge of that side. Yeah. And then see that other strap on top up there? Just roll it around like mine. Yeah, just roll it out. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And then these ones here, you're gonna have to roll out too the same way on the other side. See? Yeah, there you go. Oh. And see what's good about the metal, guys, is let's go down just a hair. Oops. There we go, under there, just like that. Let me look there. Let's see here. Yep, that's good there. You guys are gonna just bend your little clips. I know it's hard to see. We're just gonna kind of get them bent around a little bit. And this is all gonna actually hold your windshield in place a little bit while you're readjusting everything. You can do this one too, just kind of get it bent around and ready to, just like that, yeah. And then once we do that, the windshield you can now take and just put your windshield wiper right on the edge there. Guys, and I'm not done yet. I'm gonna pull this little thing off. All that is a little green strap that you put on. And now you can see your windshield wiper works. So we'll go ahead and get a close up here and show you guys the strap. We're gonna get this readjusted. One thing I did have to do, guys, is I did take my light bar off because I need to readjust the bracket so it'll fit around the edges of the windshield here. And my wire, of course, reran the way I need it so it's not obstructing the placement of the windshield. But other than that, once we're done with that, we're just gonna pull the roof back over and we're done.
Okay guys, I wanted to show you this little piece on the windshield wiper as well. It kind of goes over the top of the nut right there, just so that way it protects it. But as you can see, it's just really, and it just comes off with that little tiny clip. It's kind of cheesy, guys, so I feel like this is just gonna fly off. That's probably the only real complaint I had about this whole thing so far, as being cheap. So if they could figure out a way to get that to attach better, we may not lose that from the wind. But what I did is I just got a little rubber grommet that I found. Find one like this, that kind of pitch on the end, and that little bit of a hole with this, the little lip in there. And probably find one of these at your local hardware store, order it online. But what I found to do is you can just take this, put it over the nut, and then squish it down, and it grabs a hold of the nut, right? And then what it's going to do is this wide area portion of it is going to sit in the narrow part of this cap, thus holding it on like this. And when you push it down, now look, it's not flapping up like it was. It's not moving at all. Bam. And that'll hold it down. And that little rubber grommet just sits on there easily, probably even protect and insulate it from dirt and stuff. But yeah, so just a little tip.
Okay guys, so we've got the clamps for the windshield wrapped around the roll bar. Pretty simple. Once you get it attached, you just pull it around like this, and then you're going to put it over this bolt and then add another nut. So it's a little bit tricky. Nothing's just going to wrap right around. You got to mess with it a little bit. And then be careful not to damage the threads on the bolt. So when you're sticking that bolt through, like so, you're going to hold it just like that and at least start it. And don't thread it, back thread it either, cross thread it. And this is a little bit tricky, guys. This isn't easy. Once you get it on like that, you've got another one right here. So you'll have 1, 2, and then on the opposite side of the windshield, the same ones. So we're going to go ahead and tighten these up, which you've seen how we got the nut on. Make sure our windshield's right where we want it, and then that's going to be it, guys. That's going to pretty much finish this up. We had to do a little bit of adjustments for my light bar brackets, like I said, to make them fit around this windshield, but it's nothing that you can't do yourself to make it work. So we'll come on back once we finish tightening the rest of these bolts, and we'll give it a final look. All right, guys, so we told you we were going to go ahead and finish getting those brackets tightened up, which is all you pretty much do. I will give you guys some little tips about installing this windshield, and it's nothing to be deterred about. It's just anything that you do, you have to make small adjustments. So when you bolt this bad boy on or get it on, before you tighten the 4 straps that bolts your cage here, strapped to your roll cage to hold the windshield in place. Just come back and stand away from the machine and look at it. You may need to come up a little bit. You want your gaps here on the plastics to be kind of even. And then on the top, on the edge up here, which is kind of hard to see, but if you go down a little bit and look under here, you can see that you don't see none of the screws from this thing bolting with the straps around the roll bar. Everything's clean and hidden by the roof itself. The light bar's back in place. The cable I got ran really nice. Got that little windshield wiper. Woohoo, isn't that cute? But anyway, yeah, windshield wiper. And then of course you have your two vents on the bottom here. You have your seal all the way around, which it does really seal it up. There was gaps that when we put the windshield up there just to see what it looked like. But after putting the seals on everywhere and putting it in, it's all tight, no holes or sunlight coming in, which is good, because that probably means you're not gonna have much water leaking in, or if any at all. So yeah, you guys can see pretty much a clean job. SuperATV windshield, guys. Very well worth the $700 it costs for one of these. Glass is like scratch resistant. I cleaned it off. There's some little smudges from the styrofoam when it was packed, but other than that, it wasn't damaged. The plastic, the metals, everything came in good shape. I will show you guys one thing though. For the next video, if you look this way, we are going to throw some SuperATV doors on, full doors. We got all 4 of them here. These guys are badass. I'm telling you, they're clean. They look clean. They have the nice rivets. They're thick, powder coated. Hard to see in the plastic, but if you really want to see them, you'll tune back into the channel when that video comes out next. We do have some more videos that we're going to be doing here in the future, guys. It was the windshield, the doors, and we probably have some mud fenders or mud flaps. It just depends. We may do a half windshield as well, just so we can show you what that looks like, and that way you can use that during the summer, because I know that these full windshields get a little bit hot in the cab if you don't have enough flow or some fans going. So yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry about taking a little while to get the next project on the Beast going, but hey, I got so many things going. Check out the podcast. We have a new podcast channel too, Bigger Perspective. You can look on the channel here and see the link. It'll take you straight over there. We're also doing our podcast. Just started that, been really busy getting that thing put together, so show us some love on that. Be patient. We only got 2 or 3 podcasts going so far, but it'll grow as we grow. So appreciate you guys tuning in to Review It TV. Much love, and we'll see you guys next time.